Hey cuties, what's up? We're back with some more reactions after dark. I forgot to turn the mic back up. We're back with some more reactions after dark, and we're of course back to the stripping internet horrors of Korea Volume 2, obviously by Question. Back with this. I was thinking about doing more juicy confessions from Stephanie, but I was like, I've been awake for a really long time. I should have been asleep a long time ago, but I want to get this out of the way now so I don't have to do it when I wake up. So we're just going to do a quick one today with, of course, the Korea horrors. Again, I wish he would have continued making interesting, or at least from my opinion, interesting thumbnails and not just, you know, slapping the area slash country slash whatever on the thumbnail and then a couple of small pictures on it and just calling it a day. Like, can we have more spooky nonsense thumbnails? Question, please. But anyways, of course, no hater segment today. We haven't really gotten any hate comments in a while. No radical break, of course, because the video's too short for that. Though tomorrow is going to be Valentine's Day, and I still don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Like, maybe we'll play Fortnite, I don't know. Any suggestions would be fine, but I don't think there's anything that would really be suggested, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Let's just get straight into it, right? Again, I love the sounds. I love the analog horror almost aesthetic that we get here a bit. Again, of course, disclaimer and all of that. Viewer discretion is advised, of course, which is basically what this is saying right now. Yeah, that's basically all this is. It's just dark stuff, viewer advisory, etc., etc. I wonder if he's gonna have this is not okay. No, I was gonna say I don't know if he's gonna have the thing like this is not something to make fun of Korea or whatever. This is like that's not what this is made for. Anyone who's doing that in the comments will be, I don't know, banned or whatever. Because he did that on the Chinese one, so I wonder if he was gonna do it for the Korean one now too. But maybe it just isn't a time yet. Maybe on part 3 he does that. The PC room murder.
It began with something small, a complaint that should have meant nothing. Just another quiet morning on Seoul's Gangseo district. October 14th, 2018. Inside a narrow basement PC room in Gangseo, rows of glowing monitors lit up the dark space.
Okay, so by PC room we mean like almost like a computer cafe, I guess. Like those places you just go where there's a lot of computers and you just go hang out and just use them all day. I don't know if that's more of like a Asian culture thing to just have buildings dedicated just to having PCs that people come in and use all day. Because I don't really know too many of those over here other than like a PC cafe. And that almost seems archaic now. Like, I don't know where any PC cafe actually exists. There used to be one down the street, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anymore. So again, it's like, I don't know if they even exist over here. A PC cafe specifically, because I don't think this specific establishment has existed over here at all. But maybe there has, but maybe the library. But does that library? I guess the library counts, right? That's where if you want to use a PC, it would be the library. But they wouldn't necessarily be strong PCs, and you're kind of just using them to search things up, or maybe like watch YouTube or something. But I don't know.
Gamers were lost in their screens, clicking and typing away, immersed completely in the noise of digital warfare. And among them was a 29-year-old man named Kim So-min. Kim wasn't a regular customer. He'd come in early that day, alone, unshaven and irritable. The staff later said he seemed frustrated, snapping at the keyboard and muttering to himself. He'd been unemployed for months, living with his parents and struggling with mental health issues that had worsened after dropping out of university. He'd once been described by neighbors as bright but unpredictable. By 2018, that unpredictability had turned into bitterness.
Almost forgot that this is murder. They have it censored too. You can see it down there. They put a 3 there instead of an E, I guess YouTube doesn't want you writing that stuff down in your chapters. But yeah, I almost forgot this was about murder because I was like, oh wait, is this are we gonna hear anything about like these guys going to these PC rooms and just gaming for hours nonstop, not eating anything, not drinking anything, and then dying, like literally dying from malnutrition and whatnot, malnourishment?
Behind the counter was Shin, a 20-year-old part-time worker, trying to save up for school loans. He was known for being polite, the kind of person who bowed to regulars and smiled even when they didn't look up. Kim chose a seat, logged in, and started playing. After a while, he got up to smoke, and when he walked away, the desk was a mess. Snack crumbs, a spilled drink, and trash everywhere. Shin noticed it, and did what PC room staff do all day. He went over and cleaned it. When Kim came back, he saw Shin at his station, and complained the area had been too dirty, and that it hadn't been cleaned properly earlier. Shin apologized and wiped it down again, and by normal standards, that should have just been it. But it wasn't. Kim kept grumbling. He said the basics weren't being followed, the staff weren't doing their job. Shin apologized again, not arguing, and just trying to smooth things over. But Kim kept pushing the point, offended that a younger part-timer was talking back, when in his mind, he was the one who had been wronged. But eventually, he went back to his game, and when he eventually lost the match, that's when everything started to change. Kim stood up, walked over to the counter, and demanded a refund. Roughly 1,000 won, less than $1, because he lost the game.
I was like 1,000, I don't know what that would have equaled to, but like really $1? That's it? Is that for his time on the computer? So like one match to whatever he was playing equates to $1? Like I would expect him to be playing something like Dota or League, so that could have been like an hour. So an hour, $1 an hour isn't terrible, right? But yeah, he's like complaining about losing $1, like, oh, whoop-de-doo.
Game. Shin told him what any employee would, that only the manager could approve such a refund, and he had to check in later. It wasn't personal, it was just the store's policy. But Kim took it as humiliation. The two argued again, voices rose, and at some point, Kim's younger brother, who had came with him, called the police, saying that the part-timer had cursed at them. Shin, also nervous, also called, saying that there were two customers in front of the counter swearing continuously, and asking officers to come. 2 officers came and walked into a situation that, on the surface, just looked like a minor customer dispute. After talking to the officers, Kim said that he'd go home. The officers mediated, gave them a warning, and left, and just treated it as nothing more than a heated argument inside the PC room. Shin
So I'm guessing he's going to come back, and the officers maybe should have like hung around for a while.
Still shaken, but relieved. And according to later reports, he expressed his fear to the officers, mentioning that he'd been threatened. But without any visible violence or formal complaint, the encounter just ended there. The police walked out. But Kim did not let it go. After the officers left, Kim's younger brother didn't go home either. He slipped into the restroom next to the PC room and waited. Kim took the escalator up and ran a short distance to his family's apartment, roughly 300 meters away. In that tiny window of time, his frustration hardened into a decision. He went inside and grabbed a cold steel counterattack tool, a knife that was compact, a sheath knife, designed to be carried discreetly, and headed straight back. The entire trip took around 6 or 7 minutes. And when he arrived back, him and his brother stood near the entrance to the PC room. The two spent a brief time talking, smoking, and watching the doorway. And inside, life...
Kind of crazy that his brother's just like, yeah, oh, you want to get rid of this guy? Sure, let's do it, let's do it, brother. Like, really? Gonna ruin both of your lives?
Moved on. Shin went back to his shift, trying to
for nothing.
The argument and the police visit. And at some point in the shift, he gathered up a bag of trash and took it to throw it away, riding the escalator up from the basement like he's probably done it dozens of times. And he had no idea Kim was there. As Shin headed back down toward the basement, Kim and his brother stepped into his path. And what happened next took seconds. Voices raised, bodies closing in.
I was like, can you like pause this or take this off? Because like, if the question like pushes boundaries a bit with what he shows sometimes. So hopefully the video just cuts here and then we don't see anything.
Shin, who had no weapon, tried to defend himself. And he actually managed to overpower Kim at first, pushing him back and trying to restrain him. And that should have just been the end. But Kim's brother moved in from behind, wrapping his arms around Shin's waist and holding him in place. Free from Shin's grip, Kim punched him in the face, and then reached into his clothing, pulling out a knife, and then he started stabbing. Again, and again, and again. Reports counted around 70 stab wounds, focused on Shin's neck and face. His hands, thrown up to block the blade, were slashed so badly that the doctors described them as almost unrecognizable, torn instead of simply cut. It was the kind of overkill that suggests not a sudden loss of control, but sustained rage. Customers and staff in the PC room watched in shock. Others called the police and emergency service.
Really? Like, with how it looks dark. That might just be because of the vignetting, the color modifications, color correction, whatever. It looks dark, almost like it's nighttime, and like I don't know where they're at because it's an escalator, right? So when I see escalators, I think mall, but like it just seems like nighttime at like a mall or something. That should be closed. So I expected nobody to be here. Like it's just him by himself, and they had just been waiting for him to show up or something. But no, they are like actually doing this in front of people, and people are just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and watch a guy get stabbed 70 times. I mean, I guess like you don't want to be the hero who ends up getting also killed, but I don't know.
Services. Kim's own brother.
It's also not America, right? Where any average Joe Schmo might just have a gun on him, right? Like nobody, I'm assuming nobody here has a gun ever, so.
Customers and staff in the PC room lost in shock. Others called the police and emergency services. Kim's own brother reportedly grabbed his arm at one point, trying to pull him away. But by then, the damage was already done. When Shin
like why? Like you clearly already signed up to get rid of this guy, and then like, oh, now it's like, oh wait, you're doing too much, brother, we gotta go. Like, hopefully they both got in trouble, like not because the brother held the other guy down as the other one did it, so they both need infinite jail time, like full life sentences.
collapsed. The tile at the bottom of the escalator was flooded with blood. Photos taken after the scene showed a pool so large of blood, it looked like someone had dumped a bucket of paint. An ambulance rushed him to a local hospital. He was still alive when he arrived. Doctors fought to stabilize him, but the blood loss was catastrophic. And one would later say it was as if all the blood in his body had been left at the scene. And despite the efforts, Shin died not long after, bleeding out from the dozens of wounds. Back at the PC room, police confronted Kim. He hadn't escaped far. Officers tased him and arrested him on the spot. News of the killing spread fast, and not just because of the senselessness of it all.
Is that a tattoo on his left side of his head? Question mark.
But because of what came after. As police arrested Kim, reports resurfaced that he had a long history of psychiatric issues, that he'd been diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, anger problems, and depression. And in his defense, he diminished his responsibility due to mental instability. And within days, outrage filled the streets. Thousands gathered outside the Seoul Central District Court and the National Assembly, holding signs that read, "Demand severe punishment."
In the interview there, I think they were saying like, please leave a comment or something, but the way they worded it meant it seemed like, okay, you're going to get the death penalty, please say some nice things for the family that you like ruined by killing their child or whatever, before you are inevitably death rowed, right? That's nice. It gave that vibe. Like, none of what I just said was exactly there, right? No, it didn't say he's on death row. It didn't say all that nonsense that I was going on before, right? But we can go back and just read it. Like, I'm gonna just go back and read it. This is where it starts. He says he's sorry, and like they're saying, if you could go back and change everything, would you?
Reports resurfaced that he had a long history of psychiatric issues.
He says yes, of course.
Diagnosed with obsessive compulsive.
If you have anything to say to the victim's family, please go ahead.
Anger problems and depression. And in his defense, he diminished his responsibility due to.
He's really sorry. So, please leave a proper comment to the family. So okay, so he said, please leave a proper comment to the family. So that's what I was. I was thinking, like, hold on, maybe they're saying, leave something behind for them. But I think I just was like reading that wrong. I think they're just like saying, I'm sorry, or whatever the heck he said a couple times it's not good enough.
Anger problems and depression. And in his defense, he diminished his responsibility due to
him just saying I'm sorry twice. They're like, no, that's not good enough, basically, right?
And within days, outrage filled the streets. Thousands gathered outside the Seoul Central District Court and the National Assembly, holding signs that read, "Demand severe punishment." Parents brought their children, and students skipped class to attend. It wasn't just about one murder anymore. It was the fear that anyone could be killed, and their killer might just walk free because of a diagnosis. And Shin's mother became the face of that movement. In televised interviews, she spoke through tears, demanding reforms to Korea's mental health leniency laws. She said her son worked part-time to pay off student loans, and that he was days away from starting another job. That he died doing something as ordinary as just asking a customer to clean up after themselves. Legal experts argue that Kim's condition did not excuse intent, that he left the scene, retrieved a weapon, and returned to kill, and it was premeditated.
Yeah, it wasn't like a crime of passion that just came out of nowhere. It just had a manic episode or whatever right then and there, and got him know, like, he premeditated the entire thing. Like, not to just repeat it, but no, he left. He had a conversation with the brother. He had a second party there talking to him to try to make him not do this, though it kind of seems like the brother could have been instigating this even further. You know, he had someone to talk him down, whether the brother did that or not, whatever. But still, he went to the left, came back, again, further had conversations with brother, potentially planning this thing out, confronted him, and then did the deed, right? So it can't just be like, okay, you're mentally ill, you get off free of charge, right? Obviously, everyone is probably going to be wanting life, if they even do life, and then death, if they even do death.
In November 2019, the Seoul Southern District Court delivered its verdict. Kim So-min was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Okay, only 30, sure.
His brother, who had been present but did not intervene, received 4 years, and it was the harshest.
What? His brother who had been present but did not intervene. I guess, like, not, I don't, because it's almost saying like, oh, he was there but he didn't stop it from happening. Yeah, he didn't stop it from happening because he partaked in it. He should also get 30. Because, hello, we just heard that he held the guy down as he was being stabbed. Question mark. Hello? He was an accomplice.
His brother, who had been present but did not intervene, received 4 years, and it was the harshest ruling for a crime of its kind in recent years. But for many, it still wasn't enough. They wanted a life sentence. They wanted justice that matched the horror of what had happened.
True.
The Gangseo PC room murder became a turning point in how South Korea viewed violent crime and mental health offenses. It sparked national petitions, policy debates, and a renewed focus on victim protection. And even years later, the case remains a phrase that chills the country's memory. A reminder of how fragile civility can be, and how quickly anger can destroy everything in its path. And for Shin's family, there still wasn't that much closure, only the echo of what should have been an ordinary day, in a nation that finally realized how easily safety can be shattered in a span of just a few seconds, over something as small as a mess on a desk.
Pohang earthquake? Oof. Yeah, like the last one, just like 30. I mean, 30 is a long time. I don't know how old this guy is, but they kind of referred to the person he killed as like younger than him. Like he was upset that someone, quote unquote, younger or whatnot was behaving in a way that he didn't like towards a senior. I don't know. So it seems like he could, I don't know, be 20, 30, if this guy, the guy that he killed was a teenager, or all 20s, so maybe this guy's in his 30s, so he might be a senior citizen by the time he gets out. So, that's almost the rest of his life, if he lives to 60, question mark.
On November 15th, 2017, at exactly 2:29 in the afternoon,
please, no sinkholes. I beg you, no sinkholes. I hate sinkholes. I hate holes where they don't belong. I mentioned it in some other videos. I don't know what video it's in, but tryptophobia is definitely up there for me, so I do not like holes where they don't belong. It's been that way since I was a kid. So no holes, please.
The ground beneath the coastal city of Pohang began to move.
Oh.
Gradually, and it was without warning.
The cars are actually toppling back and forth.
Within seconds, the entire city was shaking.
오, 먼지 날리는 거 봐. 아이고.
What is this? Are we about to see someone get, like, swallowed up by the earth? Though, I mean, we have the footage from this, so that must not be the case.
우리의 추억들이.
People who had just finished lunch felt their desk rattle and their floors twist beneath them. Windows shattered, walls cracked down the middle, and ceiling tiles dropped one by one. And what should have been just another quiet afternoon turned into 30 seconds of confusion, fear, and disbelief. Pohang had been a city that never feared earthquakes. It's an industrial town with still factories, shipyards, and calm suburban neighborhoods. It was the kind of place where tremors were something you watch happen in other countries. But that day,
I'm guessing that they've never had earthquakes then.
a magnitude 5.4
That's why.
the second strongest in modern Korean history, hit directly beneath them. Students in classrooms screamed as bookshelves fell. In small shops, refrigerators toppled over, alarms blared. Cars swerved on the road as the asphalt ripped beneath their tires. And in apartment buildings across the city, people grabbed onto whatever they could and ran. Many of them still barefoot, some carrying children, with all of them certain that this might just be the end. And when the shaking finally stopped, it was a strange silence. No one knew what to do. Phone lines were jammed, the sirens echoed in every direction. Some residents stood in the streets, staring up at the buildings that looked almost unchanged, until you noticed the cracks running through the walls. Others fell to their knees and prayed, still trembling from the adrenaline. In total, over 1,300 homes were damaged. Hundreds were injured, most by falling debris. More than 1,700 people were left homeless overnight, sleeping on
What was that? That
inside school auditoriums.
construct.
The damage was visible everywhere, from broken bridges, fractured roads, and entire districts cut off by collapsed infrastructure. And yet, somehow there was no deaths. A miracle, given how violent it had been. And at first, everyone just believed it was just nature, a freak event.
Yeah, I see that was like crazy that that person just got pushed over, like the broken glass. And just like, nope, doesn't matter. I'm out of here. See ya. It's crazy. It'd be crazy if it was like their friend or something, because it seemed like they stopped and like started talking to someone once they actually got outside. I don't know if that was the person who ran out in front of them or not. Question mark. But like, was it really that bad? They're like, oh, we gotta get out of the building now. Question mark. Like, shouldn't you stay inside and hide underneath a table or something? Isn't that the go-to thing? Rather than just running outside? I don't know. I've never seen an earthquake before. Or been in one, as far as I know. Question mark. Like, if I have felt an earthquake before, it was just so low that I didn't really see it that way. And it was just like, oh, the building's shaking a bit. Or it feels like not the building shaking, like the building's vibrating, perhaps. But I just never really clocked it as an earthquake. I don't know.
Event. But as researchers began studying the quake,
That one's pretty bad.
something strange emerged.
Especially since I was just saying, like, going outside, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that.
The epicenter wasn't deep underground. It was shallow, sitting almost directly beneath a geothermal power project on the outskirts of the city. And that detail changed everything. And 2 years later, scientists confirmed that the quake had likely been man-made. Fluids injected into the ground during geothermal drilling had reactivated a dormant fault line, creating the pressure that caused the disaster. What had once been just an act of nature was suddenly something else.
Does it mean this is going to keep happening though? Like because of man-made nonsense, they have now created a situation where their city, question mark, will now suffer from earthquakes from a undetermined amount of time.
An accident that was born from technology, and a stark reminder that even progress can break the world beneath our feet. And for the people of Pohang, the truth never offered any comfort. Their homes were still gone, their lives were still fractured, and knowing that it could have been prevented only made the trauma harder to bear. Many families never returned to their old neighborhoods, and others spent years fighting for
This is really bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Good on them. Question mark. For, like, grabbing the babies. You know? Instead of, like, running for their lives. So, like, we gotta make sure the babies are okay.
for government compensation. In the years since, Pohang is rebuilt, but ask anyone who's there today, and they'll tell you the shaking never really leaves. It lingers in small ways, in the creak of a floorboard, in the hum of a passing train that sounds, just for a second, like the beginning of another quake. The 2017 earthquake lasted only 32 seconds, but within those 32 seconds, it revealed something most people never even thought about. The thought that even the most solid ground can turn against you. The earth doesn't care, it doesn't warn, and sometimes it isn't even the earth that's to blame.
Attempted assassination of Yeonpyeong. I don't know if I've heard of this one before. I mean, we've been seeing ones that we're familiar with in the other ones so far, but none of these I've seen before. But again, to reiterate, the one with the nurses or doctors, I don't know. 2 thumbs up for that. That they all like just grabbed and like coddled the babies. Good on them.
January 2nd, 2024, Busan, South Korea. A clear winter morning. It was quiet, harmless, and the kind that feels ordinary. Lee Jae-myung, leader of the Democratic Party, one of South Korea's most prominent politicians, arrived at an event near the Gaedakdo new airport construction site. He'd spent months traveling across the country, speaking about economic reform, corruption, and the future of the party he hoped would soon return to power. Surrounded by cameras, reporters, and supporters, he moved through the crowd with calm assurance of a man used to attention, and the day ahead of him was supposed to be a routine appearance. Another handshake, another speech. But at 10:27 a.m., everything changed. As Lee paused to greet a group of supporters, a man in a gray jacket stepped forward, holding a phone in one hand, pretending to take a selfie. And in the next instant, he lunged. A small knife, hid in the man's other hand, slashed across Lee's neck.
Again, I still think that question gets a little bit too risk-takey with what he's showing on his channel. Now that there's anything to be seen here.
The crowd gasped, and then screamed. The cameras jolted. Reporters dropped their mics. In complete, utter disbelief. Complete chaos ensued, and in the chaos, Lee collapsed, blood seeping through the collar of his shirt. And for a few seconds, no one understood what had just happened. But when everyone realized what exactly did happen, the crowd erupted, some rushing to tackle the attacker, others trying to reach Lee. Security guards pinned the man down as police swarmed the scene. He didn't resist, he didn't run. All he did was stare blankly ahead as they pulled him away. Lee laid on the ground, conscious but pale, clutching the side of his neck as aides pressed tissues and towels against the wound.
Again, this is attempted, so you can hope that he did not die from this.
Within minutes, medics were on site. He was carried to an ambulance and rushed to Busan National University Hospital, still bleeding, but alive. And news of the attack spread instantly. South Korean television interrupted broadcast mid-segment. Social media flooded with clips, raw, shaky footage of every angle, and you could see the moment the knife connected, and you could hear the crowd's shock, the pure disbelief that something like this could happen in daylight, on camera, and to a man guarded by dozens. The suspect was quickly identified, a 60-year-old man from Asan, Changjeongnam-do. Police said he had disguised himself as a supporter, wearing a paper crown with Lee's name written on it, and he had been waiting for this chance since early morning. When questioned, he gave no clear motive. Some reporters said he'd been politically frustrated, angry at both major parties. Others suggested obsession, that he'd followed Lee for months. But whatever the reason was, his actions nearly tore open a wound that South Korea hadn't felt in decades. For the older generations, the attack was a haunting echo of the past. The 1979 assassination of President Park Chung-hee, and the 2006 knife attack on conservative leader Park Geun-hye. Moments where politics and violence had collided in ways the nation hoped never to see again. At the hospital, Lee underwent emergency surgery. The knife had narrowly missed a carotid artery, a difference in millimeters that meant the difference between life and death. And after hours in the operating room, doctors confirmed what the country needed to hear: he would survive. And when Lee finally regained consciousness, he thanked the doctors in public. His voice hoarse but steady. He said he would recover.
Yeah, I was like, is he just going to go back to doing his job, or is he going to quit? Because this kind of thing just rallies more people behind you, right? If you live it.
Continued his work. But for those who had still seen the footage, it was hard to forget the image of him falling, the suddenness of it all, the sound of panic rising behind the cameras. The suspect was charged with attempted murder and taken to Busan's prosecutor's office under heavy guard. He offered no apology, no explanation, only silence. And in the weeks that followed, the attack became a turning point, not only for Lee, but for South Korean politics itself.
To a different angle.
Public figures was tightened. Campaign events became smaller, more controlled. And online, a darker question began to surface. How long can a country so deeply divided hold on to civility before something breaks again? The attempted assassination of Lee Jae-myung was over in seconds. A single motion, a flash of silver. But those seconds were just enough to remind an entire nation how fragile safety really is, and how easily the spotlight can turn into crosshairs.
We're not going to know what the sentencing was for that guy. Just not going to tell us that. How long he got in jail. The Yeonpyeong Island shelling.
November 23rd, 2010. Just after 2:30 in the afternoon, an island off the west coast of South Korea erupted in chaos. Residents of the Yeonpyeong Island, a small fishing community only a few miles from the North Korean coast, had heard artillery fire before. It wasn't unusual. Both Koreas regularly conducted military drills across the border, but on this day, the sound was different. This time, the shells were coming from the north. And for years, the island had lived on the edge of war that never technically ended. The Korean War in 1953 left the peninsula divided, not with peace, but with a ceasefire. A ceasefire that could shatter at any moment. And on that afternoon, in 2010, it did. At 2:34 p.m., North Korean artillery batteries on the coast of Hwangwa province opened fire, launching over 170 shells toward the South Korean island. Within seconds, the first impact struck. CCTV and TV crews stationed there for routine coverage captured it in real time. Smoke rising, windows shattering, and the ground shaking under the consecutive waves of fire. Black smoke rolled over the horizon as homes and military outposts caught flame. Civilians fled down narrow streets, clutching children, covering their heads from the falling debris. It was the first direct artillery assault on South Korean territory since the 1950s. At the time of the attack, South Korean Marines were stationed on the island conducting routine live fire drills.
Yeah, I definitely have never heard of this before. I didn't realize something so recent. I'm saying recent because it's 2010, right? That's, you know, after the new millennia. That's like not that long ago.
But the rounds they fired were directed southward, into the sea. North Korea accused them of violating its territorial waters, responded with lethal force, and over the next hour, the bombardment continued. Waves of explosions hammering the island, reducing homes to rubble, igniting forest, and cutting power lines. Residents hid in underground shelters, while radio broadcasts screamed warnings to stay down and await evacuation. The South Korea's military quickly retaliated. Artillery units by nearby islands returned fire, launching 80 rounds toward the North coastal batteries. Fighter jets scrambled from nearby bases, circling above the smoke-choked sky, but they never even crossed into North Koreans' airspace. It was a deliberate restraint to prevent full-scale war. The total exchange lasted about an hour, and when the shelling finally stopped, Yeonpyeong Island was in ruins. 2 South Korean Marines were dead, 2 civilians had been killed, and more than 50 buildings were destroyed or damaged. And nearly 1,500 residents were forced to evacuate by ferry. And that night, footage of the burning island was broadcast across the entire world. TV news captured glowing fires across the dark horizon. Homes reduced to twisted frames. Entire neighborhoods blackened. Helicopters carrying out the wounded as families wept in shelters.
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that 4 people died, but they, were shelling like 100 something, right? Over 100? I think they shot 80 back, right? But we'll just say they shot like 100 over there, so despite them firing so much, only 4 people died. You can say that's a silver lining, question mark? You can say it either or, like, oh, 4 people died, that's horrible, or only 4 people died. Like, it's just, like, how do you want to see it? Half full or half empty? 4 people died, or only 4 people died? It could have been way worse. You know, because every shell could have been at least 1 person, if not multiple, 10, 20, 30, 100.
For South Korea, the anger was immediate. Protests erupted in Seoul, demanding retribution and stronger defenses. The South Korean military itself raised its readiness to the highest level short of war.
Yeah, how did this not just turn into full-out war?
And the president, Lee Myung-bak, declared that any further advances would be met with overwhelming force. And across the border, North Korea claimed victory, insisting it had acted in self-defense, and warning that any retaliation would lead to a merciless sea of fire.
Jesus Christ, that's so angering.
But beneath the political statements was something much simpler: fear. For the people of the island, the afternoon shattered any illusion of safety. Families who have lived there for generations packed up their belongings and left, saying that they would never return. In interviews, survivors described the same image: a sky raining in fire, and the realization they were living in the crosshairs of a conflict far bigger than themselves. In the years since, Yeonpyeong has rebuilt. The homes have been restored, the fishing boats returned to the harbor, but on the edge of the island, the craters still remain, silent reminders of what happened that day. And every November, a siren sounds at 2:34 p.m. Residents pause, bow their heads, and remember the moment when war briefly came back. And for the rest of the world, the incident was another reminder that peace on the Korean Peninsula exists on borrowed time, that a single misstep, a single round of artillery, could reignite the war that never truly ended.
So recently, there has been on Twitter speakings that Kim Jong-un? Is it Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il's gone. Kim Jong-un's daughter is going to be the next dictator. Like, can maybe finally find peace? I mean, she is her daughter, so she is his daughter, so maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe she's going to be just as horrible, if not worse than him, but maybe things will be better? Question mark? But probably not. Unnamed video analog horror. Okay, well, you got my attention with analog horror.
When I work on these international videos, I always end up going down side paths that aren't strictly true crime or internet tragedy, but
I forgot to look into the I think the angel thing. I forgot what it's called, or is it Sky thing? The Korean analog horror. I looked at the YouTube page, but I didn't actually watch any videos yet.
still feel deeply connected to the internet and how the country's online world somehow feels. And one of my favorite ways to do that is looking at its analog horror. Every country puts its own fingerprints on that genre. Previously, we covered a K-pop analog horror, and this time I found another very
That's what I'm talking about.
from a channel called Unnamed Video.
Oh, so it's not even unnamed video that he has no clue about it. It's literally called unnamed video.
The first thing that hits you when you open these videos is its warnings. Obviously, this is an all-in universe. These videos aren't actually banned tapes, but that's exactly the point. The channel's pretending you've stumbled onto some forbidden state artifact, a cursed kids cartoon that was never meant to leak online. In one of the standout videos is a story about a river, a folktale-style piece centered on the Great River. It opens like a children's moral animation, soft colors, simple character designs, the kind of slightly cheap commercial style you expect from an old educational tape. But things are just wrong. The faces are very smooth, the expressions don't quite sync to the voices. In fact, almost the entire video looks AI generated.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like AI slop.
I'm not exactly sure if it actually is, but that style gives the entire thing an uncanny look. The story itself is decently interesting, and when you strip it down to its core, it's a story about corruption, superstition, and revenge disguised as justice. And it looks like you're watching psychological warfare through the eyes of a kid. The channel itself has multiple different videos, each one having its own type of story, but still following that same theme. And altogether, it makes this channel of unnamed video feel like a single project with a clear obsession of fake state warnings, children cartoon aesthetics, and stories about rituals, corruption, and sacrifice. And for videos like this that follow this type of theme, it makes the channel sit in a very eerie place. It's 100% fictional, but it feels like it's built on certain things that people are actually afraid of. And if you want to break from pure tragedy without losing that unsettling tone, this is one of the corners of the Korean internet that's worth exploring. If you want to check it out, I'll have his link down in the description below, so please check it out. Just don't be surprised if halfway through one of these videos you catch yourself staring at a frozen frame and thinking, this looks exactly like something I saw when I was a kid, except I don't remember it ending this way.
Is that another analog horror thing to put in the bucket of to potentially be looking at later? The DMZ escape caught on camera. So someone escaping from a DMZ? A criminal or just...
The border
what?
between North and South Korea isn't just
Oh god, here we go again.
a line on a map. It's a scar, and one that's carved by war, frozen in time and guarded by thousands of soldiers on both sides, stretching 250 kilometers across the peninsula. The Demilitarized Zone, or the DMZ, is one of the most heavily fortified borders on Earth. There are minefields, razor wire fences, guard towers every few hundred meters. Every movement, every sound, is watched by cameras, sensors, and rifles. And for most, crossing this border is nearly impossible. The few who try, usually through China, risk being executed if caught. Crossing through the DMZ itself in broad daylight is borderline, and yet, in November 2017, someone did. It happened in a quiet corner of the joint security area, a cluster of blue buildings that straddles a line between the two Koreas. It's the only place where North and South Korean soldiers can see each other face to face. Tour groups visit in the daytime, and negotiations have been held there, but that peace is very fragile. A single wrong move can ignite chaos. On November 13th, 2017, a North Korean soldier named Oh Chung-sung got behind the wheel of a green military jeep. He wasn't heading to a meeting or patrol, he was heading straight for the border.
Yeah, he's just trying to escape. So you say, or you hear about people trying to escape North Korea to South Korea or anywhere constantly, though. I'm guessing this is just the most broad daylight, I don't care, I'm going straight over there, I'm out of here kind of maneuver. Because I don't know how people usually do it, but I would assume it's like at the dead of night, you know, under the darkness, possibly, I don't know, maybe even in the water, because there's some water there, right? So they can just go around into the water and then just hopefully not get caught trying to escape.
The CCTV footage begins quietly. A tree-lined road leaves drifting across the pavement, and then the jeep appears. It's moving fast, too fast. The soldier speeds past checkpoints, swerves down the narrow approach to the DMZ, and crashes into a ditch just a few meters from the line. And for a second,
Getting like 8,000 messages right now.
the door opens, and he runs.
What the heck? Who was that who fell over? There's no way that's North Korean soldiers, like, what?
The soldier speeds past checkpoints, swerves down the narrow approach to the DMZ, and crashes into a ditch just a few meters from the line. And for a second, there's silence.
So he's getting out, he's running.
And then the door opens, and he runs.
And then that guy just falls over, like, hello? As a person pointing a gun?
Multiple cameras, the sequence unfolds like a movie, except it's all real. O sprints toward the South Korean side, while his former comrades open fire on him. Bullets rip.
Yeah, because you can see, like, this guy, their hands are up. Wait, man, I'm putting my hands up, but you can't see that. But, you know, their hands are up as if they're holding, like, a pistol or something. Same thing with this one over here. You minus this guy. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this, I mean, all these people, it's probably going to happen to all these people, but this man who tripped here, if that is a North Korean soldier, which, I mean, they're shooting, so they must be, that man and his entire family is probably gone because of this goof. You know, if we are to believe North Korea is as bad as we think it is, then the fact that he goofed up so bad by tripping in the leaves there, like he was publicly gotten rid of alongside his family for his mistake. So, but I'm saying even these people here, everyone here could have been gotten rid of because they let this guy get away.
Ripped through the air, striking trees, concrete, and the ground around his feet, and he doesn't look back. And for about 20 seconds, he's fully exposed, with no cover, no chance to stop. He then collapses. He crossed the line, just barely. When South Korean soldiers reach him, he's bleeding from 5 gunshot wounds to his shoulder, elbow, back, and knee. He's unconscious, lying just inside the southern side of the joint security area. Hours later, thermal imaging from a rescue shows ghostly silhouettes. South Korean troops crawling across the ground, dragging him back to safety while guns remain trained from the other side. They pull him behind a low wall, load into a stretcher, and airlift him to a university hospital in Suwon. Doctors work throughout the night. He's barely alive. What they find during surgery shocks everyone. His body is riddled with parasites, some more than 25 centimeters long. A living snapshot of the conditions ordinary North Koreans face every day. The United Nations Command releases CCTV footage a week later. It's spread across the world. You could see every frame, the chaos, the chase, the crash, the gunfire, and the rescue. Just raw surveillance, timestamps ticking in the corner, and bullets visible as flickers of light.
Oh, there's a guy who's tripped.
And the video itself becomes one of the most widely seen recordings ever released from the North Korean border.
He's kind of just like going around in circles. I mean, they're doing bad stuff here, but at the same time, like, man, that poor guy's family, they're all gotten rid of probably, because that's what you just assume, right? Like, they have to make sure that your lineage never goes on if you screw up. Something like that.
And later, investigators confirmed that Oh Chang-song wasn't a farmer or a conscript. He was from an elite family in North Korea, the son of a high-ranking officer, with access to education and privilege most citizens will never see. In his interviews after his recovery, he admitted that he'd been drinking that day, very heavily. He argued with his superiors. Something in him snapped. He took the jeep, drove toward the border, and never stopped. When asked later if he regretted it, he said no, but his expression told another story. The escape remains one of the most dramatic events ever captured at the DMZ. Before
I mean, he was apparently riddled with parasites, you know, alongside with the bullets trying to escape. And whatnot, so it looks like he's living it up now, so like why wouldn't he be happy? It seems like that's always going to be the case, right? You're out of North Korea.
For a few seconds, the border was an abstract political symbol. It was a line drawn between life and death. Most people who attempt to cross it don't survive, but Oh did. And in doing so, he gave the world a glimpse of just how desperate someone must be to risk being shot at by their own countrymen in pursuit of freedom. The cameras are still there, silent, unblinking, and always recording. And if another soldier ever decides to run, we'll see it the same way we saw him, a single man against an entire nation, running for his life.
And that is going to be it for that today. Yeah, this last one was like, oh wow, that's crazy. And I can't stop saying it. It's just the guy who tripped. It's just, I'm like, oh, he's gone. His whole family's gone because of that mistake. Then he was just running out circles after that. And then that especially got him, like, gotten rid of for sure. It's all just speculation, but I can't really say I'm not right. Like I said all these other people who didn't finish him off, I feel like the entire squadron is just gotten rid of. Possibly even that guy superior, he's gotten rid of too, right? If they found out, like, they got into an argument and that's why he ran away, like, they could be gone too. So that was just like, geez. At least he lived, but at what cost, right? Because you're not even thinking about, okay, well, he's gone, but does he have a family there? Because he's supposed to be like a son of a superior, right? A higher up family. So that guy's entire lineage might have just been erased because he ran away. Question mark. So it's not just the guy who tripped getting deleted in his whole family, like the guy who ran away and successfully ran away most likely just had his entire family deleted, because I feel like that is when your family gets deleted. It's because you try to run away and they catch you, but he got away, but his family is potentially still behind, so now they're gone you could assume they're all gone. So it's just like, oof, Jesus. Analog horror thing. Oh yeah, the shelling. I didn't realize that's something that happened not that long ago. Oh yeah, just that one. Again, hopefully, thankfully nothing happened there. The earthquake, which again, unfortunate. Again, is this going to keep happening, or is it just a one-time thing? It's like, oh, we got to stop doing this because we just created a catastrophe. And then that one's just like, just uncalled for. This guy needs more time. He needs a death penalty. His brother as well. His brother only getting 4 years is like ludicrous. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Hopefully, it wasn't too bad of a video. Since again, I'm tired. I was getting tireder as this video goes on. I was yawning a lot, but of course, you shouldn't have been able to hear that. But hopefully, I actually had enough to say, and it wasn't just like dumb mumblings and whatnot. Yeah, we're done. So yeah, cuties. Thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers. Think about becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're working on watch time and subscribers. And don't forget we have a throne now as well. And shout out the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. Yeah, cuties. Thanks for watching. Tune to the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Another do. See ya. Oh, also hype. Don't forget the hype. See ya.